Hey bookkeepers, it's Trudy at Maven. Quick grammar flashback. Remember the old rule, I before E except after C? Well, here's the business version that we follow here at Maven. I before E equals intellect before emotion. Because when it comes to business decisions, feelings don't run the show, facts do. So why does that matter? Because emotion is loud, impulsive, and pushes us to react. You're frustrated, so you fire off an email you regret later. You're nervous, so you discounted your rates. You're excited, so you commit to something you don't have the bandwidth for when it finally rolls around. That's not a strategy. That's living in survival mode. And let's be clear, business isn't therapy. Your clients don't hire you for how you feel. They hired you for what you know. Enter intellect, data, clarity. When the facts lead, you make decisions that are grounded, repeatable, and scalable. You stop reacting and start responding because facts don't flinch. Here's where bookkeepers get tripped up. You think being empathetic means being emotional, but it doesn't. Empathy is a strength, but emotional reactivity, that is a liability, especially when you're running a practice. You have to protect your time, your pricing, your policies, even when someone else is having a feelings-based meltdown. Let them feel while you, remaining calm, collected, professional, and unemotional, lead. Here's an example. A client sends a late night email. I get those a lot, but they're panicked and accusatory because that's usually how that happens too, right? I can't believe I owe this much. You didn't tell me this would happen. If you're emotional, you're going to doubt your work, react defensively, and probably even lose sleep over the conversation. But if you're empathetic and intellectual, you're just going to pause and you're going to know they're overwhelmed. But when we reviewed this in the fourth quarter, they opted not to prepay. So now my job is to stay calm and reaffirm the facts. So you respond like a maven. I hear your frustration. Let me walk you back through the options we discussed last fall, and I'll show you how we move forward from here. That is empathy in action without giving up your authority. Here's another example. A client pressures you for discount because they've had a rough year. Emotion says, I feel badly, maybe I should lower the price. Intellect says, this is my rate, I offer flexible terms, but not discounts. Their situation is unfortunate, but my value has not changed. Here's your action item. Practice that pause. This week, when you feel emotionally triggered by a client or a situation, stop and ask, what are the facts? What's the pattern? What would the CEO version of me do right now? Then act from that place, never from a place of fear or guilt, only from one of clarity. Final thought, emotion might start the fire, but it's intellect that holds the map. So yes, be human, but in business, be sharp, steady, and smart. I before E always. That's how mavens move. Up next, I visited networking, now what? This is a great one about everything you need to do after you've made your first visit. We'll see you there.